Hello everyone, it's Phil Jones from Masimo Consumer, and joining me is Gary Dayton from Marantz, and we are at CEDIA 2024 in Denver, and there's some exciting new product introductions that we're showing at the show here, and one of them is behind us, which is the Model 10. So Gary, this is your baby. Can you talk a little bit about this product and what makes this product unique?
Right, so to be clear, we've got 3 new products. They comprise the new 10 series collection. The 10 series is Marantz's return to reference quality audio. It's been since 2016 that Marantz has released reference quality 2-channel products with the PM10 and the SA10, which made such a splash in the audiophile community. But now, as you say, here we are, 2024, the new Model 10, SACD 10, and Link 10N. So let's first take a look at the design of the products before we talk about what makes the sound quality really special. We introduced a new design language with the Model 30 and the SACD 30N in 2020, right? It had this revolutionary new design with a control panel that was all aluminum, flat, sitting in front of a textured back shell and side lighting, right? That was like really elegant. It was a big departure from the kind of bright LEDs that you see from so much audio equipment. Looked amazing. There were some detractors, and we knew that we had more improvements to make. So we expounded upon that design language with the new 10 series collection. So let's take a look at it. We've got an all brushed aluminum control surface. It's got spun finish knobs on the front that are stabilized by bearings, very smooth operation, really heavy, great ballistics. But behind that now we've got an entirely machined aluminum back shell. Now there's iconic Marantz identifiers that you'll see in the product, the porthole display. Long gone are the days of analog ballistic meters in the porthole. The new Model 10 has a very high resolution color display that features all kinds of useful information. Things like volume control, source selection, setup menu, and even power meters, which we all like to look at power meters, right, when we're listening to music loud.
Now, there's a couple of things about it. I mean, because this is the ultimate expression of that newer, modern Marantz design language. It harkens back to the traditional Marantz look, but then it has these modern touches. And when you see them in person, they're just absolutely, like I'll tell you, stunning. And I've saw multiple versions and multiple design options along the way, and you guys hit an absolute home run. And of course, it's available in this champagne, as well as the black.
Right.
And I will say that one thing I noticed, there's not a piece of plastic on this thing.
No.
Every panel, the case, the quality of it is at a different level. The other thing that noticed, you talk about attention to detail, is if you look at the top of the Model 10, it has this beautiful textured kind of ventilation grill, and you can see into it, and there's not a wire to be seen.
Right.
Everything in it is copper. It is a piece of jewelry. It's a work of art. It's something that you want your people to see when they walk into your house. So the level of design is just incredible, and a lot of that is form follows function. So all of this beauty, there's a purpose behind it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the sound of these units, and I have a PM10, and I love my PM10, but a Model 10 is at a whole nother level when you talk about performance and build quality, even compared to a Model 10. So let's talk about the sound quality parts of this.
So I have a PM10 as well. I love my PM10. It drives my speakers with incredible authority, grace, detail. I didn't realize there was that much more improvement to be made. So with Model 10, we didn't just make subtle improvements on the PM10 design. Over 85% of the components in Model 10 are entirely new to Marantz. You won't find them in any other product that we make. Now, there are some topological similarities. PM10 and Model 10, they're both switching amplifier designs, but where PM10 used an expression of Hypex amplifiers, which I think are pretty familiar to most audiophiles by now, with Model 10, we worked with Purify to develop exclusive amplifier modules that you won't find in any other product. So there are a lot of great products out there on the market from competitors that use Purify technology. But in those instances, they're buying the Eigentakt module directly from Purify. Marantz, our engineers worked directly with the Purify engineers to develop amplifiers specifically for Model 10. So like PM10, Model 10 is a dual mono design. That means separate amplification for each channel. However, in this case, the amplifiers that we designed are balanced from input to output. There's no way to run these amplifiers as single-ended. Now, following the dual mono construction, there are individual switch mode power supplies for each channel. And then the chassis is subdivided as well. So, where the high current power supplies and the amplifier modules are on the bottom floor, there is a separate chassis inside the product that houses all the line level electronics. So above that, when you look in from the top, you'll see the toroidal transformer that powers the linear power supply for the preamp. You'll see the input buffers. You'll see the new HDAM that we designed specifically for this product. So all of that rolls in to make the best sounding, best measuring amplifier Marantz has ever produced.
So there's a couple of things you brought up that I love. The multi-tiered structure, it's copper plated everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like when the Marantz engineers were given this project, they were given build the best amplifier you can, and then we'll worry about everything else. So a lot of times, anybody that's been in engineering or product design knows that normally you build to a price point.
Right.
So you would like to do this, but I can't.
Yeah.
That was not the case for this product. It was like you build the best Marantz product you possibly can, and this is the result. Right. The next thing is we talked about the Purify, right? These Purify modules are built in Shirakawa.
Yeah.
They're ours. So while you may see that kind of topography someplace else, they are not what's in here. It's our products built, our pieces built by us in Japan. So this is a very much bespoke product.
Right.
So I absolutely love the amp, and I will say too that I had the opportunity to connect this, and we were actually running it in our hi-fi room on a pair of 801 signatures, and people were stunned at the performance. They were like, "Are the subwoofers on?" In the room, we're like, "Nope, it's just that."
Yeah. So there's just from like a spec sheet standpoint, you'll see improvements in Model 10 over PM10. Model 10 is more powerful, right? It's 250 watts per channel into 8 ohms, 500 into 4. That's an instant power output improvement over PM10. But as part of that power output improvement, there's a current output improvement as well. That's responsible for a lot of the low-end drive, like the low-frequency power and authority and effortlessness that you get out of this. But you don't sacrifice the Marantz signature sound. You still get the warmth, the spaciousness, the 3D holographic imaging that our brand has become so renowned for. But we've made great strides in detail and dynamic range. Unequivocally, it's the best sounding amplifier we've ever built.
It's absolutely amazing. Now, the thing that really stands out is the engineers were given not only the opportunity to build the best amplifier they can, they were also given that blank slate to build other products as well. So that's where the other two pieces come in.
That's right.
So before we get into the Link, which does a million different things, let's talk about the SACD player. So what is this unit over here?
Okay, so SACD10.
Actually, it's over there.
Yeah, this is the best sounding SACD and CD player we know how to build. Now, there are a lot of reasons why Marantz is positioned to be expert in this field. First and foremost, when we were part of Philips, we were around at the development of the CD, right? We had the first commercially announced CD player, CD63, back in 1982. So I think we were in a pretty unique position to have some authority in this space. Second of all, we are one of very few companies that designed and built our own transport mechanism. There's a lot of expensive and very good CD players on the market. Almost all of them buy transport mechanisms from some other manufacturer. It's a very involved process to design and build. Marantz has the scale and the know-how to be able to develop that. Next, instead of using off-the-shelf DAC chips like so many other manufacturers do to great success, we're using our Marantz musical mastering engine. We are able to upsample all of the incoming data to DSD. We're able to decode that and then convert to analog using chips that we have specifically programmed that can perform like no off-the-shelf DAC can. Now, following Model 10, there are some other common design decisions as well. Multi-tiered chassis, obviously with such high bit rates, you have to isolate noise. We've got very wide bandwidth performance. Like Model 10, it's balanced from input to output. And it's got some other features as well.
It's got dual toroidal power supplies.
It's got dual power supplies, yeah. So like
So
it's not enough to just take one transformer and have multi-taps like for your digital and analog power supplies. We literally have them separated at the line input, like going into the transformer. So there's a temptation to call these over-engineered, but I would say that they are engineered to perform just to the specifications that we decided upon.
Now, like you want to hear kind of an interesting kind of trivia thing? The CD player weighs more than 2 Cinema 40s. So if you stack 2 Cinema 40 AVRs on top of each other, the CD player weighs more. The construction, when you touch it, you feel it, you lift it, it is obvious that the amount of care and detail that went into that thing is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, you still have your asynchronous USB, so you can utilize it playing a disc, CD, CD, SACD. You can use USB content. You can use asynchronous from a laptop. The list goes on and on. So, if you just want to play just basic digital files like that, you are good to go.
Yeah, like let's simplify it, right? Like if you have a digital media player that you like, you don't need to replace it. If you want to upgrade the performance of your system, you can get an SACD 10, use the DAC that we have built in, Marantz Musical Mastering, have absolute reference level CD and SACD playback as well, and be entirely happy.
Yeah, use your old source to send the ones and zeros and let this do the job.
Let it do the job, yeah.
Okay.
And it does a fine job of it.
Now, there's one more product that is kind of a really unique thing. So we know that network music, streaming sources, Tidal, Spotify's, high-res, it's getting to the point where back in the days when it came to high-res music, streaming, you had to sacrifice performance for convenience. You get a million songs, but the quality wasn't that good. But these days, many of the services, Apple, Tidal, Spotify, Amazon, they're all doing high-res, so there's a lot of content that comes in that way. And you may need something that maybe you have an older amplifier you want to utilize, and you just want a better digital source or better digital preamp. That's where the Link 10 comes in.
Right.
So talk about all the things you can do with this and what makes this piece so special.
Yeah, so Link 10N is, it's a full digital front end, right? So this is the kind of piece of equipment that you can connect to a Model 10 and have fixed output from the Link 10N, use the volume control in your Model 10 or whatever integrated amp you have, preamp, separate amplifier. Use it as a dedicated network player. You can also connect it directly to a standard power amp that has no preamp section, because we have a full analog preamp built into Link 10N. It has digital inputs, of course, the ones you would expect: asynchronous USB, Toslink, digital coax, SPDIF. It also has HDMI ARC, making it incredibly convenient to get sound from your television into the hi-fi that you've invested so much money in, right? But it's got more analog functionality than you would find in a typical network audio player.
It's got a great headphone. The headphone amplifier is outrageous.
The headphone amplifier in it is insanely good. With variable gain, you can dial it in to work with any set of headphones that you have. It's got a fully balanced analog preamp, right? Again, balanced input and output, just like the rest of the 10 series components. It has a moving magnet and moving coil phono stage.
And you have multiple stages.
You can adjust the moving coil stage to match the impedance of your cartridge.
Yeah, it's an amazing piece.
Yeah.
And when you look at the three of them together, it's just outstanding. The other thing you can do with it that's really, really cool is you could take a Link 10 and then say you have a bigger system and you want to use monoblocks. You could use the Link 10 think of it as the brain, and then use 2 Model 10s, correct?
Right.
As the amplifiers for that as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, you can use up to 4 Model 10s in a single system using the Marantz FCBS system. So what FCBS does is synchronizes the operation of up to 4 Model 10s, and each of those can operate as monoblocks. You can run them in biamp mode, for example. This lets you increase the amount of power into your loudspeakers to match the demands of your system. Now, there are a few applications for this. One application would be in strictly a 2-channel system, where maybe you have a pair of 801D4s, and you want to connect a pair of Model 10s, one for each loudspeaker, driving the high and low frequency sections of each. Another great application is in a home theater system, where you could use 3 Model 10s, maybe for your LCR system, and then use something like an amp 10 for your sides, surrounds, and ceiling. So in that way, the operation of the Model 10s are synchronized, but the signal is still routed to the respective amplifiers. So you're not bouncing signal from one amp to the other. You're just taking signal out of your controller or your preamp and routing it to the appropriate amp.
Yeah, it's just an amazing set of products. So we're actually showing them at CEDIA 2024, and there's going to be lots of other opportunities for you to have the ability to experience these particular products. If I want to learn more about these products, where should I go?
Yeah, start with Marantz.com. We've got a landing page now set up for the 10 series, and then a detail page set up for Model 10. You can also visit your Marantz specialist dealer. Only the top tier Marantz dealers will be demoing the new 10 series. They are perfectly well equipped to connect 10 series to Bowers & Wilkins 800 series loudspeakers, for example, or the high-end loudspeaker of your choice. But you can read all you want about these, Phil, but honestly, like, the best way to learn about them is you got to listen.
You got to experience them.
They sound incredible.
And you got to see them. They're just beautiful pieces. And of course, to learn more, we're going to be doing more content for our Masimo Consumer Audio Learning channel for YouTube, and we'll get into more details about each of the particular products and their applications. But Gary, I just wanted to thank you for coming and talking about these products. I am incredibly excited about these. I saw these along the way for production for the last 5 years, and actually seeing them in person makes me extremely proud to be part of the Marantz family. So take care, everyone, and we will talk to you soon.